How are we doing, Kansas Jayhawks fans? This is your host, Nick Rondeau, bringing at you some Jayhawks Daily content. And we've got some exciting content, some exciting information. Kansas is playing UConn basketball tomorrow, Tuesday, December 2nd. It's going to be an absolute slugfest, I think. And we're coming up, after playing some pretty good basketball. We're leaving Las Vegas with more than just a third place trophy. We're leaving with 300,000 added to the NIL fund because yes, that's what this whole players era tournament type of situation is. It's meant to, add a little bit to the purse, a little bit, help loosen the purse strings to maybe get a player next year. I don't know, Tyron Stokes. Maybe. Who knows? No, but it's great to get, a little bit extra money for the team. Great to see more than anything. The team plays super well. I mean, everyone knows we were breaking it down all last week, but 3 games, 3 wins, big one over Tennessee, including a little comeback that was very nice to see, just see the team work together, but that's over with. Time to move on, and we've got UConn tomorrow. Danny Hurley's UConn team ranked top 5 unanimously across the country. They've got just a star-studded lineup. I mean, unbelievable. They're going to have, I believe, their star player Terrace Reed coming back in. He's their big man, just really dominant, really solid player. But great returning talent and solo ball. Caravan has another year of eligibility, and they've got a very deep team. A lot of talented freshmen, a lot of good returning talent, a couple of decent transfers in, but Danny Hurley is very good basketball coach, and he's got them as favorites against UConn at Allen Fieldhouse. It's impressive. That very few teams are really able to string that together over the stretch of Bill Self's tenure, being favorites on Bill Self's home ground. But it seems that Danny Hurley's team's going to be doing that. And will we have Darren Peterson? We're getting into it. Will we have Darren Peterson? And I know you guys are probably looking to me saying, Nick, do we have Darren Peterson tomorrow? I would love nothing more than to say, absolutely, he is slotted into the starting lineup, or he is coming off the bench with a minutes restriction, or he is not. I'd love to say anything, but I don't know because Bill's keeping it close to the chest, and this all makes sense. This is college sports in a nutshell. Very difficult. They're cagey answers. Well, he's progressing really well, and we think he could be around for the future. Because this all started when Bill Self said Darren Peterson will not be with the Kansas basketball team for the immediate future. It was a bit cryptic, but, it made sense. He knew he wasn't going to have him for at least a couple of weeks, specifically not the Players Era Championship. It was a valid statement. You can't take it away, but it's been a couple weeks now. Genuinely a couple weeks. Will Darren Peterson play? Now my gut says he's playing tomorrow. And maybe that conflicts with what a lot of people say, but I think this team is buzzing. They really are. They're buzzing. They're playing really good basketball. Do we need him? Yes. Do we have to have him play if it's going to further injure himself? No, we have an actual chance to beat UConn for sure without Darren Peterson. That is beyond what we thought. I mean, we are in a different territory, much different waters than what we thought. I thought even going into that Duke game, no chance like anybody else. We were in a close game down to the wire by the end. UConn is, people are saying, an even tougher test because they're battle tested. They've outlasted BYU by a couple of points. They just put a work on that Illinois team. That's another top 15 team. They did. Their only dropped loss is to Arizona at home, but that's Arizona. They're killing everyone these days. They're one of the top ranked teams in the country. So they're playing really good basketball. Danny Hurley's team's playing a really good basketball. So do we need Darren Peterson? No, we don't need him, but we would love to see him. We would love to see him play. My gut says Darren Peterson will be in the lineup tomorrow night. But again, Bill's going to take it safe. Conference games matter significantly more, and we need him for a tenured run, not just for a couple of quick stints. Play 3 weeks, boom, flare it up again. Sit out for a month, flare it up again. We don't need that. Doesn't work. Doesn't help anyone's long-term success, including himself, but also this team's long-term success does not include significant, in and out flaky performances. I think Darren Peterson plays, but we'll see. We'll see if I think it'll be a game time decision no matter what. So I don't even think by tomorrow's video we will have any new information. But I think it's a game time decision, and we'll see how because I love it. The team's playing. The team is balling out right now, and that means I got to shout out my guy Trey White. Trey White, headband Trey, is doing everything he can to show that he has picked up and learned every skill possible at all of his stops over the years. Originally recruited by Bill Self and the Jayhawks before his freshman year, he says, you know what, Bill? I know I was there for a second, but you know what? I'm coming back. I'm actually coming this time. And I'm going to put up some numbers. I'm going to put up some numbies. Guy is shooting 54% from the field, 43% from the three-point line, and 83% from the charity stripe, being the free throw line. 15 points a game, just great performances from him so far. You know, those are pretty rare numbers. And again, that could, who knows, maybe that creeps higher. Maybe he gets to the 50, 40, 90 club. That's a Kevin Durant special. So, I mean, it would be amazing. It would be very hard to believe, but wow. I mean, it just, if he can keep up those percentages, yes, maybe the points per game will come down a little bit with Darren coming back, but all it is that's efficiency right there. That is efficiency at its finest. And what I love more than anything is, yes, I love seeing over 50% from the free throw line or field goal percentage. I love seeing over 40 in 3-point, and I love seeing 83 from the free throw line. But better than all those numbers is the free throw attempts. The guy's taking is averaging over 7 free throws attempted a game. That's exactly what you want from a guy like that. I mean, he's just been playing great basketball, and he's getting to the line. He is attacking the rim at a very high level. He's also getting over 2 offensive rebounds per game. Helps with extra possessions. I mean, these are just things you love to see. You know, you can't not appreciate what Trey White has done in a time of need for this Kansas team. Even, you know, hoping maybe Melvin Council would step up a little bit. And he did slightly, but, you know, maybe in more moments than in tenure. Trey White has stepped up completely for this team. Flory Badunga has also stepped up for the team. But again, we could see that Flory jump happening. We saw what Flory put up last year. We knew he had a very high ceiling. His floor is still an excellent basketball player. But we knew that we would get, you know, that kind of jump. Trey White was the unknown. He was the transfer. He was the transfer that people knew of because he was at the top tier schools, but he was not the, you know, expected, you know, jump that we're seeing from him, and it's excellent so far. It is top tier talent. It is, you know, it's just reminiscent of good Kansas basketball. I can't honestly think of a decent comparison that would do Trey White justice right now. Of, you know, who wore it similar, maybe, for a Kansas basketball player over the history. He's just playing in a very unique style. I love the way that he is so smart. So many times have we've been watching games and we see Trey White do the smartest play possible, get the defender up off their feet, put it up, get fouled. I mean, that Syracuse game, it was genius gamesmanship from Trey White to, he's just got a solid pump fake right at the 3-point line, gets the defender up, 3 free throws, drains all 3. I mean, it's intelligent basketball that it's things you pick up. It's the tenure, it's the experience that you expect from a guy who's a journeyman. You know, been 3 schools over the last 3 years, all top, you know, power conference teams, you know, tenured programs. I mean, USC, Louisville, Illinois, these are, you know, hard and fast programs that they've got a reputation, a good reputation, that is. So I'm very excited to see how Trey White has been performing early on this year for us, because the skies were pretty gray. We were worried for some really stormy performances from the rest of this KU team. We were like, who the heck's going to step up? No Darren Peterson? We're screwed. No, he steps up big time. Plays in big moments. Yes, he fouled out a little early that Tennessee game, but maybe it's like, yeah, you know, a coach taking a technical. He's like, hey, I've been stepping up for us the first half. Carry the baton. Melvin, here you go. El Marco, here you go. You know, that's all it was. And it worked out well to a T. I think Trey White's got to have a big game tomorrow night, regardless of Darren Peterson's playing. He's the one we can really count on right now. Yes, I'd love Flory Badunga to have a great game as well, but they've got some tall guys, and we're not it's not typical we're going against these 6'8", 6'9" schools or under anymore. They're going to have some taller guys on that UConn basketball team, so Florida's going to be matched up relatively well. But I'm very excited to see how he's got to turn on in this team. And then we got to get to Bryson breakout. Bryson Tiller is playing far more than I think anyone expected. Over the last 5 games that he's been starting, he's been averaging over 30 and a half minutes per game. It's very exciting stuff. Just seeing him really come into his own. Have the numbers specifically been there over those 5 games? No, he had the Notre Dame game when he put up 17 points, but he's put up 11 against Syracuse. The other 3 not cracking double digits, but it's beyond that for me. We didn't expect this guy, at least I didn't, to really be getting significant, starting minutes until I was thinking at the earliest it would be December. I was thinking, by January, this would be very nice to see Bryson Tiller really introduced into the lineup, right around conference play, see where everything kind of pans out, see how the young guys playing. But he's been in Bill's system. No. Bill says get in there right away. And yes, some of this has to do with Darren Peterson going down, but he's a big man. This was maybe always part of the plan. Yeah, Trey White sliding in more to the guard to help us out. He was supposed to be that 4 for us. Bryson Tiller is playing that 4 to a T. He's stretching the floor. He's taking 3 points. He's shooting 33% from 3. You can't be mad at that from a big man. Anything better, it's roses. Anything lower, maybe it's trash, but we'll take the 33 that we've got right now. He's getting over 6 rebounds a game. He's averaging a block a game. The only thing we're really seeing is a couple of extra turnovers that he could cut back on. And yeah, some of the blatant fouling. He's it's like certain games he's got 4. The other games he's got 1. It's crazy. You get 5 fouls out, and then the next 2 games he combines for 2 fouls. It's not something maybe sustainable. Who knows? But yes, we've seen this before where we've got the flagrant fouler just keeps going, and I think he's going to stop that. But that's why I'm bringing it up. Is tomorrow the breakout game that we're in again? People are saying the breakout game is UNC, and I get it. I would completely give that to him, considering what he was putting up. 4 for 4 from the 3-point line, 4 or 5 from the field in general, with the 12 points. But he played 15 minutes because he fouled out so early. So was it really a breakout game if you didn't even get to the under 12 in the second half? I don't think so. So is it tomorrow? Does he have a chance to really break out tomorrow, really help us out in a time of need? Because they've got some talented players. Terrace Reed, like I said, is coming back. He's a 6'11" senior, stud player for them. Everyone knows that he's just been a very good basketball player. He had a couple years in Michigan. He played last year for Danny Hurley's team, coming off the bench for him. And just a good player, and he's balling right now. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a bum ankle. Maybe Bryson can kind of stretch the floor with him. Really have a chance, but I just think this is a perfect opportunity for Bryson Tiller to really display his talents, because more often than not, playing at the 4 for UConn and Danny Hurley's team is going to be Alex Caravan, and solid player, all-around guy, great basketball player. But he doesn't exactly scream as the perfect matchup, kind of stopper. He doesn't seem like a Bryson Tiller stopper to me. He seems like a guy who can maybe handle a little bit in the paint, can, definitely helps, stop him on the perimeter. But, I like Bryson's chances in that matchup. That's all I'm going to say is I like his chances in that matchup. He's a great player, but Bryson can really stretch the floor. And more than anything, what I've seen over this run is great post moves. He knows exactly how to use the glass, drop it right off, put a little English on it. I'm just appreciating everything that Bryson Tiller is doing for this Kansas Jayhawks team, because we were in a time of need. Absolutely. No Darren Peterson. It called out for a lot of people. We needed Flory. We needed Melvin. We needed it all. And we got some Bryson to, come along with it. And it's a fun team right now. It's a fun team. Is Darren Peterson going to come back tomorrow for UConn? Well, I hope, because we're underdogs, and I don't like being underdogs at home. I definitely don't. What I do like is having a chance to make Danny Hurley scream and be writhing in so much agony after we take them down. After we put the second loss on the board for him, he says, "Well, I thought I could own the Big 12 because I took down BYU." No, Big 12, BYU, the Big 12 doesn't run through BYU quite yet. People, Kelvin Sampson had it right. We are the bell cow. Maybe not, this year. Maybe not the last year. Maybe not the year before that. But it still runs through us. That's just what the Big 12 conference is. It's Kansas Jayhawks Incorporated, essentially. That's what we do as Jayhawks fans. But I appreciate everyone so much for tuning in today. Very excited to break down and then watch the game tomorrow night. Going to be super excited. Can't wait to see Danny Hurley screaming his head off on the sidelines. And just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know anything. How do you think this team's going to fare? Do you think Darren Peterson's coming back? Who knows? But I appreciate everything so much. And rock chalk. Go Jayhawks.